How are we fixed for time?
That is gone 20.
Yeah. So hello and welcome to Fairfield here today. It's the 13th of September for this senior football clash between Ballinacourty and Clashmore. It's I wouldn't go so far as to call it a dead rubber. Both teams are qualified for before today, so it mightn't have that bit of bite in terms of if a team was to be knocked out, but at the same time neither team's going to want to lose this game because it's not the way you want to go into the knockout stages on the back of a loss. So Ballinacourty are starting it, Stephen Enright in goals, Darren McGrath, John Elstead, David Montgomery. Starting at right half back, Sean Whelan Barrett wearing 22, Brian Luby, Tom Luby, the Luby brothers, and the third one, David, is in the corner forward position. Midfield is Conor Prunty and wearing 24, Dean Beresford. Number 10, Michael Kiley, 11, Mark Ferncombe, 12, Michael O'Halloran, who is incidentally possibly marking his cousin Edmund, who's possibly lining out there at 5 for Clashmore. 13, Neil Montgomery, 14, Patrick Pudge Hurney, and David Luby is wearing 15. So I'll just hand you over there to Alan Kern's going to go through the Clashmore lineup.
Yeah, Clashmore lines out as follows: Declan Hickey in goals, full back line Colin Flaherty, Killian O'Keefe and Kieran Burke, half back line Ed Halloran, Jason Seward and Aidan Tree, middle of the field Ty Burke and James O'Leary, half forward line Decky Allen, Brian Lynch and Sam Fitzgerald, full forward line Luke Coughlin, Paul O'Connor and Paddy Pender. Ballinacourty winning the first round against Ardmore comprehensively enough, and Clashmore struggling early on against Ardmore, but beating him by 6 or 7 points in the end.
So, just trying to see how a referee is inside here today. I just gave a walk on the pitch there a while ago. It's an unusual, the breeze is blowing from the back of the stand here, so it's very sheltered for one half of the pitch. And there's a kind of a cross-field breeze, but it only comes into play once you're gone beyond the middle of the field over to the far side. So it's no real advantage for either of the teams here. Rathgormack and Kilrossenty are out of the three groups there. Rathgormack and Kilrossenty are gone through, and both of these teams this evening are gone through. Galtier and Anoy are gone through, and all the football fans in the county are going to be glued to their YouTubes and their televisions there this evening for the clash of Stradbally and Ring, because it would be a huge surprise to everybody if Stradbally were not to make it out of their group, but they're going to have a tough game there tonight against Ring after the surprise packet of the group there was Bricky Rangers, who bet Stradbally in their game in the group stages, and that's going to be an interesting game happening at I think 6:30 here this evening. So lots of interest from the footballing fraternity in Waterford to see how that game goes.
Today's referees Paddy Smith. Captains are James O'Leary and Michael Halloran.
Alan, I see that Brian O'Halloran is not being risked today by Clashmore.
No, Brian is struggling with a bit of an injury there from since the Western final in the hurling. Kieran Connery is also struggling with a bit of an injury, so he's been rested today as well. As well as Shane Russell and cornerback, he's also been rested today.
It wouldn't make any sense really to risk an injured player for a match really, and to be missing him for the knockout stages.
No, they're all being rested for the quarter final. As you said already, both teams qualified, so all of them just precautionary injuries, so they're all just giving it the extra week.
Can we please have both sets of subs at the stand?
So the Ballinacourty lads just getting their last couple of words there and trying to see who's doing the talking in there. Larry Hurney is the manager, and Matty Kiley, and all the regular faces are down there. A big shout out there to Alan Tobin over in London there today. I see his father Kevin was getting a rub there for an injured knee earlier on. Hopefully he'll be able to continue on the sideline there for Ballinacourty. So to Alan Tobin over in London and all those lads watching that, I hope you're after logging in a few minutes early. So Paddy Smith is blasting the whistle here, and he wants the teams to get going. Clashmore of an experienced line-up here. Cillian O'Keefe and Declan Allen, they're experienced players. They've played a lot of ball down through the years, and they're tough and experienced warriors. Was it 2 years ago, I think, Clashmore knocked out Ballinacourty with a late point by Aidan Trehey, if memory serves me right, the Messi of West Waterford, and Clashmore aren't going to fear Ballinacourty today. They know that they've beaten them in recent times, and that means a lot psychologically to a team.
Colin Flaherty, Jason Seward and Luke Coughlin getting the nod today, who weren't starting the previous day against Ardmore. Teddy Smith getting ready to throw in the ball.
All right, and away we go. Tyg de Burka. And Edmund O'Halloran there is calm on the ball, goes back to de Burka. We're trying to see if referee blows a foul there. I think it's on John Elstead for holding Paul O'Connor there, and that's going to give an early opportunity. Yeah.
Brian Lynch taking the foul.
So this is a great opportunity for Brian Lynch to open the scoring here and to settle the Clashmore nerves. Straight in front of the goals on the 21. And he does just that. And Clashmore are on the board. So Paul O'Connor used to be on the freeze, Alan. What's the story with that?
Brian Lynch is taking the freeze this year. Abbeyside goalie Stephen Enright taking a fast kick out there, but Paddy Pender intercepts it. Gives it back to Luke Coughlin. Luke Coughlin finds Brian Lynch with it, inter-county man. Looks outside, finds James O'Leary. James O'Leary looks across to Sam Fitzgerald. Sam Fitzgerald steadies the ball onto Edmund Halloran. Edmund Halloran coming forward from wing back. Challenged strongly and winning the free, Edmund Halloran.
That was Neil Montgomery that was pulled there for the foul. He's back helping out the defence, and Ballinacourty have two in the full forward line. The two wing forwards out around the middle of the field, so they've definitely got a few players drop back there helping out the defence. Declan Allen. They're working that ball around the place there with Tyg de Burka. He's a big man, is Tyg de Burka. It's only when you get in close you realise what a big man that he is. Luke Coughlin is running at the defence here. Twisting and turning. Oh, that could have been given, but it wasn't given, and I think Clashmore might have felt that they should have got a free there, and it's Monty breaking out of the defence. Loads of space. He goes long. He's looking for. I think that's Furry. No, that's not Furry. That's Dean Beresford, who was named in midfield, but he's playing up in the forward line to Michael O'Halloran. Michael just drops that ball short, and it's Declan Hickey. All ball is bobbling around the place there. It's back to Michael O'Halloran again, or that was Furry, to David Luby. And unfortunately that ball has gone right and wide from David Montgomery. Just panic stations for a second with the club chairman Declan Hickey there under a small bit of pressure.
Yeah, lucky it could have ended up in the net, but defence got back well to tidy it up.
Pitch in absolutely splendid condition here. I walked over across it there a while ago, and it's like a carpet out there. Ground is absolutely perfect for football. Declan Hickey filling in the net here for Fintan Walsh is injured, and as we said, Declan Hickey is club chairman. He's a busy man, kicking that ball out in the middle of the field, and was contested there by James O'Leary, who's a huge man in the middle of the field, but breaking ball goes to Ballinacourty. Michael O'Halloran goes long. He's looking for Pudge Hurney. Pudge, the youngest of the famous clan of Hurneys. That's Tyg de Burka having a good battle there with Conor Prunty, the inter-county teammates, but the whole concept of being teammates with Waterford hurlers is going to be left off the outside the line today. There will be no holding back there because both of these players are committed, and there won't be no love shown to each other for while this game is on. Tyg de Burka looking for someone calling there, forced to go short, but it's all working out for them.
Tyke steadies things down in the middle of the field, back to Aidan Tree. Aidan Tree takes a hop, turns around, probably fouled by Michael Kiley of Ballinacourty. Aidan Tree just down Johnny Flavin in to see what's wrong with him. Tyke the Burke going to take the free. Clashmore off to a good enough start. Johnny is jogging back out and Aidan Tree up on his feet and is fit to continue. Tyke finds James O'Leary, Captain James O'Leary, knocks it back towards Edmund O'Halloran. Edmund starting brightly at half-back. Got over carrying that one, and Abbeyside go to take the free quickly, and Conor Prunty gives it around as well, and it slips back to Aidan Tree. Aidan Tree mops it up and wins the free out, fouled by Dean Burke. Takes the fast free out to Edmund Halloran. Edmund Halloran a bit of space. Sam Fitzgerald makes a bust up here under the stand. Edmund still going. No one's coming to Edmund. Drills a good ball in towards Brian Lynch. The inter-county man has it on his own 21. Takes a hop and a solo. He's making a small bit of space from. He's going for a big kick. Is it coming in? It's coming in, and it's the second point for Clashmore. A great kick by Brian Lynch there. He'll be very happy with that one. Left a few short against Ardmore the last day, but there was no fear of that one dropping short as Stephen Enright gets ready to take the kick out.
Super score there by Clashmore, I have to say. Worked that ball well, didn't they, up the field?
Yeah, great kick by Brian Lynch. It's across here to
Sean Whelan-Barrett that hacked that ball up the field.
Spins it back inside, gives it to Pudge. Lear is trying to get the ball off him, but Pudge makes a bit of space, gives it back to Michael Halloran, takes a big kick, and it looks a good one, and it's the opening score for Ballinacourty after 6 minutes here in Fairfield. It's 2 points to Clashmore, a point to Ballinacourty. Declan Hickey getting ready to take the kick out here now again.
Michael's father, Eddie, will be delighted with that. I had a quick chat with him there this morning. He's a legend of Clashmore football, and still lives and breathes Clashmore. And he'll be slightly divided loyalties there today with his son and his nephew on the two different teams, but
yeah, and they're picking out pitch. Edmund is marking Michael over, so cousin rivalry there as Declan Hickey kicks it out here under the stand side. Sam Fitzgerald rises high, but it's well broken away from him. Colin Flaherty tries to get to it, but Michael Kiley for Ballinacourty goes forward, fists it out to Dean Barrows, where Dean Barrows takes a hop. He goes inside, he passes in Colin Flaherty, he passes him in a bit easily, but it's driven across towards Pudge. Pudge leaves it outside.
David Luby.
David.
Great score by David Luby.
An equalising point, and it's 2 points apiece here in Fairfield.
Beautiful score there by David Luby with the left leg. He's a top class forward, beautiful kicker with both legs, and a great free taker as well. Made a great name for himself there when Ballinacourty made it to the intermediate final when he was only, I'd say, a 5th or 6th year in school, and he was the free taker. And a great talent. His two brothers, Brian at 6 and Tom at 7 there today, and what an advantage it is to a club to have a family like the Lubys to call on.
Declan Hickey getting ready to take the kick out. Again coming under the stand side, looking for Tyke de Burke. Conor Prunty rises with him and breaks it back inside. Edmund O'Halloran's coming across to try and win it, but out comes Pudge, and Pudge wins it. Leaves it outside to Dean Barrowsford. Dean Barrowsford causing a few problems here early on. Back to Michael O'Halloran, who will be disappointed with that. He kicks it wide from his own 21. A few gaps opening there on the Clashmore defence. Declan Hickey getting prepared to take this kick out again. Conor Prunty and Tyke de Burke, inter-county teammates, marking each other here in the middle of the field. They're going across to the far side this time.
This is going to be a great duel between Michael Kiley and Aidan Tree as well. They're two serious speed merchants there marking each other, and they're both standing under this breaking ball. But it's Foray. Pops it to Mike Kiley. Oh, and again, as we said, Tree there, this man is electric pace as well, another county player, and he's right in there, getting a hand in and popping it to Declan Allen, another great warrior for Waterford down through the years. What a servant he's been to club and county.
Decky Allen finds Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch steadying things down again, starting very brightly here. Tries to find Paul O'Connor inside. Paul O'Connor is out to win it. Looks for a pass and across to Paddy Pender. Paddy in front of his man, but the defender does well. Defender David McGrath finds Conor Prunty, and Conor Prunty onto Michael O'Halloran, middle of the field. Fouled by James O'Leary there, holds it up.
Oh, great ball there by Michael O'Halloran, picking out Tom Luby there. and he's looking to go long inside. And he does, and he drills it into Beresford. And that's David Luby with the shot there from distance, but he'll be disappointed with that one. It just skewed off well to the right and wide. That's Abbeyside's second wide of the game. Good start there.
Yeah, good even start. Not a whole fight between the two teams yet. Ballinacourty with a few ambitious kicks there going wide. Abbeyside playing with or Ballinacourty playing with the slight breeze, more across the field but slightly up to the dressing room end. Declan Hickey getting ready to take the kick out. Goes over towards Dickie Allen. Dickie Allen is on his own and fields it well, wins the mark. He's looking to find someone fast enough. He goes back towards Edmund O'Halloran. Michael coming in to close him down. Finds Dickie Allen again. Dickie Allen takes a bit of time in it. Hopping a solo. Still has a coming across the field. No one giving him much of an option. Finds Tig de Burka. Tig de Burka right bang centre in the middle of the field. Looking for someone, not a lot happening. Coming across the field, Jason Seward showing for the ball. The Garda finds Paddy Pender, but it's well broken away by David McGrath. But Paddy Pender wins it back, tries to find Brian Lynch a half a yard in front of his man, but well dealt with.
Great defending by Brian Newby there, got a hand in and then just flicks it away soccer style to Darren McGrath, and it's Courtney. Michael O'Halloran popping it there to Furry. Very elusive player, great feet on him. Popping that ball back to and it's Furry again looking up. That's really poor discipline there by Sam Fitzgerald now, because he's blatantly tackling with two hands, which is an obvious free at any level, and then refuses to sort of move away when the free was given and the ball is brought forward, and that's disappointing discipline from the Clashmore men.
Sam Fitzgerald, yeah, he'd be disappointed with that, giving away the extra 10 metres, making it from a difficult kick into an easy kick enough here for David Luby.
See, Sean Whelan Barrett is after moving across here to pick up Declan Allen out wing back. Or Declan Allen seems to be switching sides, but Sean Whelan is following him. But in the meantime, David Luby pops that ball over the bar. So for the first time, Ballinacourty take a 1 point lead. Both teams are dropping players back there because at either side there's generally only 4 forwards in their own half for the kick out. So both teams are moving into a defensive and then an attacking formation. Tricky contesting, but it's David Luby winning the breaking ball again. Ships a hard knock there from James O'Leary, who's a huge man in the middle of the field. And I think he could be winded there. He just got that into the gut. Emer Enright is in there to have a look at him. Mark Fernkin with ball in hand here, and he's looking to get on with it, and it's good to see David Luby is up again. I think we just winded for a minute, but he's made it tough stuff. So almost 13 minutes gone here, and David Luby is going to kick this himself. It's possible that he could kick this score. It would be within his range just about, with that slight breeze from right to left, but he's not going for it any. He's going short to Dean Beresford. Dean out in front of his men, shimmying and twisting and turning. That's Darren McGrath. Sean Whelan Barrett drilling that ball in. I'm not sure that was intended, but it worked out for him all right. I have a feeling that was a kind of a half a shot, and that's worked back out to Tom Luby. Great strike of a ball with the left leg. That's a fantastic score by Tom Luby. Super score out of him.
Big kick from Tom Luby there. Ballinacourty settling down. Coming up close to the water break, 4 points to 2. Clashmore just gone out of it there with the last 5 or 6 minutes. Need to get a grip in it here in the middle of the field. Declan Hickey getting ready to take the kick out. Over on top of Michael and Edmund O'Halloran. Broke forward into Dean Beresford again. Dean Beresford back to Michael O'Halloran. Takes a hop, gives it inside to Ferry. Ferry goes inside to corner 20, but it's broke away by Tyler Burke, and out comes Cillian O'Keefe. Cillian O'Keefe making a burst up the field. Cillian O'Keefe flying this year onto Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch steadies things, he brings it around, takes a hop and a solo, puts it in towards Leary. Leary won't make it, gets a fist on, but it's tied up by Ballinacourty forward, and it's out to Conor Prunty middle of the field.
Conor Prunty picking up the play here now. He's looking to go long, and he does. David Luby out in front of his men. Sean Whelan Barrett was after making a great run down the right here, but taking a long range shot there, and it's not exactly, it hasn't brought any great joy to the management on the line. I can hear a few roars gone in there just to be a bit more patient and to hold that ball up a bit.
Yeah, the two Hurney brothers down here in front of us weren't happy with their brother there taking a big shot, instructing that's not what they wanted. Declan Hickey getting ready to take the kick out.
Oh no, the goalkeeper's after pulling his hamstring there, I think.
Broken back to Colin Flaherty. Colin Flaherty finds Tyg Burke. Tyg Burke hesitates on the ball and is broken away from. It's inside around the middle of the field. Comes back to Tyg Burke, messy and sloppy there. Tyg Burke probably wins a soft free there. I'm not sure what it was for. The Ballinacourty subs here beside me not happy. Taking a fast free across the entry, but the ref calling it back. Paddy Smith from knocking over.
It's either his quad or his groin, I think. He seems to be, Declan Hickey seems to be holding his quad or his groin, but the physio is then having a look at him there, but he left a real roar or yelp out of himself after he made contact with the ball and went down. And that water break is falling at a great time for Clashmore, because they're going to have a minute or two there now to have a look at Declan and see if he can continue, or will they be down to their third choice? Who is the third choice keeper?
I'm not quite sure, I don't know. They might know themselves. I wouldn't think they'll be under pressure now because Fintan Brannock is still out through injury, so concerning times for the Clashmore management.
Very good first quarter. Oh yeah, there's a signalling a change here, and it's going to be Jonathan Walsh.
I would think it could be Jonathan Walsh that might have to go into goals. Calling Jonathan Walsh down, he's definitely coming on anyway for the second quarter.
Clashmore not risking Brian O'Halloran here today, and Kieran Connery not being started either, and you just know that there are two players that would be in the side if it was knockout here, so they're not taking any chances.
It looks like Declan Hickey is in trouble and that they'll be calling Jonathan Welsh to come in goals as far as I can get her here. Jonathan would have a good kick out. How much he's played in goals I wouldn't be quite sure. He played in the junior match last night above in the Noyer, against the Noyer, and he kicked two good 45s. But it definitely looks like Declan Hickey is coming off after pulling a muscle in his leg, and that Jonathan Welsh is going to go into goals. Both teams getting ready to start up for the second quarter, but there could be a slight change here. Jonathan Welsh is definitely coming on, but it looks like to me that Jason Seward is going in goals and Jonathan Welsh is coming on in the forwards. Yeah, that's what's happening. Jason Seward has turned his jersey inside out and he is jogging towards the goals. Yeah, Jason Seward definitely going into goals and Jonathan Welsh coming on in the forwards. Edmund looks like he's going in centre half back. Sam on the wing.
Where's Jonathan Welsh after taking up his position?
I'd say he'll be coming in the forwards for Declan Hickey.
Okay.
Edmund Halloran is going to centre half back. Sam Fitzgerald is gone from wing forward to wing back, so that is the change of the Clashmore team, with Jason Seward picking up position in goals. Jason Seward already out to take a fast free from Edmund Halloran. Jason Seward carrying the ball forward, looking for Paul O'Connor. He wouldn't want to forget to go back in goals. Jason Seward under pressure here, gets a nudge in the back. I think still thinks he's out the field, but he's going back into goals now. Finds Edmund Halloran with a fast free. Edmund Halloran takes a solo, bringing it across the field. Aidan Trehey looking for it. Edmund steadies. He goes back inside to Kieran Burke. Kieran Burke wouldn't want to get caught over carrying. He doesn't. He binds the forward well. Finds James O'Leary. things are a bit static here around the centre of the field. Onto Tyg de Burke, young hurler of the year back a few years ago and also All-Star, finds Dickie Allen. Dickie Allen takes a hop and a solo, not driving, starting to drive forward with it now. Things are all a bit stationary here in the middle of the field, looking for Paul O'Connor. Paul O'Connor is on the ball now, takes a hop and solo, tries to inject a bit of pace into it and is fouled by the
John Elstead just
John
tensed up on his legs there.
John Elstead, the fullback, and Paul O'Connor will be happy to win that free, considering taking it himself.
Paul hasn't seen an awful lot of ball into him in the first half, really.
No, the Clashmore full forward line didn't see a whole pile of ball, to be fair. Thinking maybe Jonathan Welch might take this, but Paul decides to take it himself out here on the sideline under the stands, about 30 yards from goal. Getting ready to kick it, kicks it, gets a good connection, it's going across the goals. Leary rises high but breaks it out, but it breaks to Conor Prunty as well. Prunty then.
Michael O'Halloran is out well there and showing and winning that ball. And it's Courtney on the counter-attack here now. They're moving down the left-hand side, but again there's 4 or 5 defenders across the back there and only Pudge Horney inside in his own, and they need to recycle. Clashmore were disciplined a minute ago there. They didn't force that ball in, they waited, and Ballinacourty are doing the same. Although that's what I would call a Holy Mary effort, but it's a hell of a good one. And a superb score there by Furry. And it's a super score there now because it was kind of a slight crossfield breeze in time, but both teams there now are showing good coaching because they held that ball up there and they were a little bit patient and they worked the ball across there and gave their forwards a chance to get up and into position, and then they took the shot, and it was Courtney, Ballinacourty, that drew the blood on this occasion.
Tyg de Burke finds Aidan Tree here in a bit of space, making a burst up the sideline here on his own 45. Takes a hop and a solo across, and he's fouled by Michael Kiley of Ballinacourty, 42 or 3 yards from goal. Paddy Smith gives the free.
These boys are having a great battle because they're 2 serious speed merchants, Michael Kiley and Trehy. Michael Kiley able to match him there, but just left the hand in, and Trehy knew enough to go down and winning a good free. Declan Allen popping it back there to Brian Lynch. He's a huge man, Brian Lynch. He must be 6'3" or 4". Oh, whoa! He blasted it there, and to be fair, it was. I think it was off the outside of the post and wide. I thought that was. I don't think the goalkeeper got touched it. What do you think, Alan?
The Clashmore subs here very angry. They think it was a definite 45.
I didn't think.
The linesman has his flag up here. Donald Moroku has his flag up, but play goes on.
That's David Montgomery or Neil Montgomery coming in field to Tom Luby. Tom will be disappointed there. Just miscontrolled the ball, and it was taken quickly there by Declan Allen. He's looking for Paul O'Connor inside. Paul's playing out in front of John Elstead, and he wins another free. It does look like Clashmore forwards, if they got a bit more ball, they're capable of causing some problems for this full back line.
Jonathan Welch there out in front of his man, and he winning the free, getting a nudge from Sean Whelan Barrett. Brian Lynch going over to take the free, about 27 or 8 yards from goal. The inter-county footballer getting ready, kicks it, looks good, puts plenty on it, and straight over the black spot. And it's 5 points to 3 here in Fairfield after 23 minutes of play nearly.
Brian Lynch has got all 3 points for Clashmore, though that will be a slight concern that they don't have more of a spread of their scores. You can't expect one player to do all the scoring. Ballinacourty coming away with it again. Darren McGrath over on the far side, popping that back to Michael O'Halloran. And again, Ballinacourty, they've got players across the pitch and they're going to have to be patient. Tom Luby, Conor Prunty's out hugging the right touchline here. And that's Montgomery coming under serious pressure there from Tyg de Burke. A strong man, 2 strong men. Monty goes long. Super ball in there to Furry. And a great score again by Mark Ferncombe. So that's his 2nd point of the game, but they've got better spread of scorers. Michael O'Halloran, Furry, Tom Luby, David Luby. They have 4 players scoring versus Clashmore's 1, and I think that's been the difference in the both forward lines so far.
Clashmore finding it hard to get the ball into their forwards. Ballinacourty dominating around the middle there, and their forwards seeing a lot more of the ball. Jason Seaver getting ready to take the kick out. Gets a good enough connection out around the middle. Up rises Leary and he breaks it, but it only falls to John Esteeder. The Ballinacourty is driven in around the bench.
Well run by Dean Beresford.
Dean Beresford, and he wins the free from Kieran Burke. That's going to be a simple enough free here for David Luby. 21.
Dean Beresford has had a very good opening first half here for Ballinacourty. He's been busy, he's been involved in fighting hard, and he's got great pace, and it's an impressive enough opening half for him.
Clashmore seem to have lost all their shape here now. At the moment, there's only one man inside their own half of the field, that's Jonathan Welch. As David Luby gets ready and converts the free, 7 points to 3 after 25 minutes. Clashmore need to get a grip in this now or else they'll slip away from him.
It's just the last couple of balls there now. Courtly have won a few breaking balls around the middle of the field, and Clashmore need to work on that. They need to get bodies underneath the kick out there, because if you don't win breaks, you're not going to have any supply ball into your forwards.
Jason takes the kick out over towards Sam Fitzgerald. Punched forward, but the Abbeyside man has it challenged by Decky Allen.
It's David Luby just flicking it back to Tom. Tom looking up there, popping that ball. And I think that's Brian, that was the three Lubies, one after the other. Oh no, it's John Elstead, sorry, on that ball. Michael O'Halloran. Great pace as Michael O'Halloran cutting across. Tom Luby with the left leg, trying to spread the play out wide to Monty. David Montgomery. Oh, beautiful dummy hand pass there. That's superb skill by him. What an athlete this man is. That's a superb score by Neil Montgomery. Oh, that dummy hand pass was a joy. And that's another scorer on the board there for Ballinacourty with Neil Montgomery.
Good score there by Neil Montgomery, doing all the work himself.
That's 5 players on the scoreboard now for Ballinacourty, and Clashmore are going to be looking forward to the break in 3 or 4 minutes time there, just to get back into the huddle there and try and regain their composure a bit.
Tyler Burke wins the break and wins the free. Clashmore would like to get a point before the break. It's been a long time since they've got a score. Tyke kicks it to Edmund O'Halloran. Edmund O'Halloran on his own 45 takes a hop and a solo, fists it on to Leary. Leary trying to steady things around the middle of the field, looking for an option, has to go back to Aidan Treahy. And back to Tyke Burke, going backwards instead of forwards, but they're holding on to possession, but only going across the field. Flicks it across to Paul O'Connor, who does well to win it, and he's going forward. Paul O'Connor a long ways from goal, but carrying the ball forward, making a burst in the middle. Paddy Smith put up his hands but plays advantage into Jonathan Welch out in front of his man, wins it well, lays it back to Sam Fitzgerald. Sam tries to, using his strength to carry the ball forward.
I think there should have been a free there.
The ball and it breaks away from him, but it breaks back to Jonathan Welch. Jonathan Welch takes a kick in the ground, but it's going tamely across the face of the goal, and I don't think the ball, he's gone over the end line and wide.
Paul O'Connor and Jonathan Welch have great pace inside there, but they need the right ball into them. It needs to be low and into space. Oh, great win there by Pudge Hurney. Popping that to David Luby and taking the return. Pudge is looking up. Drizzly is looking for Furry into the space. Furry, oh, he's got Michael Kiley was making a super run there. He had the hand up, he had cut across, but Furry took the shot on himself there with the left leg and just drifted wide.
Michael Kiley will be disappointed that Furry didn't give him the ball that time. He had a bit of space inside.
David Montgomery seems to be man marking James O'Leary there now from the middle of the field, and Prunty and Tyke Burke are still marking each other. But Monty is just following James O'Leary everywhere, and if he can nullify him, that'll be a big advantage to the Ballinacourty lads. And they're contesting this ball, and Monty does what he needed to do, but that was very well run there by Colin Flaherty for Clashmore.
Sam Fitzgerald bringing it across the field, but loses it again. Paddy Pender tries to steal it back. It's tidied up by the half-back from Ballinacourty, Tom Luby. Finds Michael Halloran. As Ballinacourty break forward. Inside to Ferry has it in his own 21, takes a hop, gives it back to Pudge. Pudge on the far side, brings it across into the middle, but it's intercepted by Brian Lynch, who finds James O'Leary, the captain, brings it forward. Back to Brian Lynch in the centre of the field. Leaves it to Paul O'Connor. Paul O'Connor playing very deep at the last 10 minutes, trying to get on a bit of ball. Finds Brian Lynch, Aidan Tree carrying it forward here, followed by Michael Coyley from Ballinacourty. Breaks back to Cillian O'Keefe, who finds Paul O'Connor. Clashmore bringing the ball forward a bit faster this time. Paul O'Connor ducks inside, might have been fouled. Ref gives advantage, hand is up. Aidan Tree decides to throw the ball in, whether he'll come back for the original free. No, he's not, he's giving a free out to Ballinacourty.
That was an unusual call where we'll say they lost their advantage. I hadn't seen that one before. It's Montgomery to Brian Luby. He's popping it to Conor Prunty. Conor gives a lovely ball there to Furry, and all of a sudden the Clashmore defence looks a small bit exposed. And Furry is not going to be asked twice to take on the score from straight in front of the goals there. There's very few men in the county with the scoring record of Mark Ferncombe in football and hurling. He's a man that will get scores for you, and he just slotted that straight over the middle.
9 points to 3 now, and it's turning Ballinacourty's way. Clashmore can't get a grip in it here around the middle of the field.
Sean Whelan-Barr's picking up Aidan Tree there now out on the wing. Michael Coyley is after moving to pick up Paul O'Connor, which is unusual to see the Paul O'Connor so far out in his own half back line. Tom Luby drilling that ball in with the left leg, but he's not going to be too happy with that because it's straight to Edmund O'Halloran. Very experienced player on the ball there, but he's after getting turned over there by his cousin Michael, I'd say, and that's into Dean Beresford. Sean Whelan-Barrett's over on the far side here, hovering with intent, but it's Pudge taking it on with the right leg, and that just drifts off. It was a hard chance there. That's his second wide for Pudge there now, and it was a hard chance really, even though he did have the wind favouring him, because it would have brought his shot in, but it's not the shot that the management want taken, I feel. We're into stoppage time here now. It's 31.5 minutes on the scoreboard, but there is a small bit of stoppage time for that injury there to Declan Hickey, so there could be a couple of minutes more to be played.
Jason Seward taking the kick out down under the stand side here. James O'Leary feels it well, gets the mark and calls him there. Trying to take it quickly, not a lot of objects. He's going drilling it into Jonathan Welch. Johnny does well to break it down in front of him. And Ballinacourty back in numbers and tidy it up. Luby, the centre half, back driving forward with it. Fella's running off his shoulder. Things opening up here for Ballinacourty. It's on to Elstead. He gets a good breakaway, but it still only breaks to Pudge Hurney. Pudge Hurney bringing it back inside, bringing it across to Elstead.
That was a brilliant tackle by Aidan Tree there on John Elstead, but it's Michael O'Halloran with the shot with the right leg, and that just barely curled inside the post. And that now is Montgomery, David Luby, Mark Ferncombe, Michael O'Halloran, all on the scoreboard, and Tom Luby. So, and Neil Montgomery. So the scorers are building up for Ballinacourty, and their management are going to be happy with that.
Ballinacourty racing into a 7-point lead here. Clashmore will have a lot of work to do in the second half if they're to turn this around. Not winning enough breaks around the middle of the field.
It's all very congested around the middle of the field here. There's about 4 and 5 fellas contesting every kick out, and as many more underneath it. And it seems to be suiting Ballinacourty at the moment. That was Michael Coyley winning that ball well to Michael O'Halloran. That's Furry looking up. I think that's Conor Prunty possibly on the ball there, twisting and turning. No, that's drifting off wide anyway, and always Pudge. But that's another chance gone begging for Ballinacourty, but they're going to be happy enough because they're 10 points to 3, and that's a comfortable lead considering that there's not much of an advantage there on the wind. What's your take on that, Alan?
Yeah, Clashmore with a mountain to climb the second half here. Ballinacourty really controlling the last 20 minutes of it. Clashmore starting well, but after that completely fading out of it. Ballinacourty looked far superior in the last quarter of an hour.
On the background there, you might have just heard him saying Rathcormac leading 3-13 to 6 points against Kilrossenty, and Rathcormac seem to be running up huge scores, and the defending county champions look to be the form team again. All the other teams will be keeping an eye on them, but they're a young side that won their first title last year. Well, they have 10 titles won already, but the first for that team, and they look to be the form team this year.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who's favourites, but looking after the first round of games, they're bound to be up there themselves in the Nair, and Ballinacourty. It'll be very hard to see any of the three of them beaten.
Okay, so we'll take a short break there for the interval, I guess. So referee Paddy Smith just calling both sets of players back into their position, and the subs are heading up for the stands. 10 points to 3 for Ballinacourty. It was Alan Curran and Jeff Collins here. Clashmore started off really well for the first 15 minutes, but just kind of faded a little bit in the second quarter there.
Yeah, completely lost their shape. They'll be disappointed with that. Clashmore management getting on to them there at half time to get a bit more work right out of their forwards and things. Ballinacourty will be happy enough. After a small bit of a shaky start, they settled down and kicked some good scores and dominated the game. But the game definitely lacking a small bit of championship bite, knowing that both teams are already qualified. But hopefully things will open up here a bit in the second half.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That I think both sides, when they know they're through, they just don't want any injuries. And David Montgomery, he's looking up Dean Beresford making a good run, and he's showing serious gears there to get out from behind Kieran Burke there, and he's had a very good first half. Oh, that's a lovely pop pass inside. That looks like Darren McGrath drilling that ball across, and it's belted over the bar by David Lubier. I'm not sure if he for a moment there thought about going for a goal, but lashing it over the bar anyway, and that's start that Ballinacourty would have wanted.
Yeah, half a chance of a goal, and would have been would have killed off the game. He decides to take his point. Ballinacourty just getting the start they wanted. Jason getting ready to take the kick out. Goes across to the far side. It's broken down by Paul O'Connor, but Ferry wins the break again, and he brings it across the field. Ballinacourty winning all the breaks again, finding corner forward Neil Montgomery, giving it into Conor Prunty. Conor Prunty taking the kick with the right leg, and it's gone over the bar, and a brilliant start by Ballinacourty in the second half.
Yeah,
12 points to 3, opening up a 9-point lead.
Conor would be a man more renowned for his defensive qualities, although he did score a last-minute goal to win an under-21 championship here against, I think it was Rathcormac, back in his last year as an under-21, under the lights here on a great night for Ballinacourty. And Conor will be delighted to be getting the score on the board there as well. Tom Luby and Trihy contesting that, but Trihy getting on the ball there. Oh, who's after making a great run inside there is Brian Lynch. He's all on his own on the right hand side, and no, just didn't come to him. Michael O'Halloran to Tom Luby. Courtier. Tom with the left leg to David, his brother John Elstead. But Ballinacourty are just being patient there now. They know they don't have to force it. They can hold the ball and hold possession. David Montgomery is playing a power ball in this game, but good hands got to by Trihy there, and that ball was just turned over to Declan Allen, and it's Clashmore back on the attack.
Paul O'Connor in the middle of the field trying to carry the ball forward. Gone inside his own 65, heading towards the 45. Plenty Ballinacourty men back, but comes across to Dickie Allen, finds Aidan Tree in a small bit of space in the centre. Moves on to Luke Coughlin. Luke Coughlin well blocked down by
Sean Whelan Barrett there.
Luke Coughlin will be disappointed with that. Sean Whelan Barrett finds Michael Halloran. Michael Halloran coming across the field onto
that's Dean Beresford again.
Beresford in the centre of the field after pushing out.
That's David Montgomery again with the ball there. Loads and loads of space out on the right there for Michael Kiley, and Michael sells a beautiful dummy and steps inside. Has a go with the right leg, but no, just tried to curl it over with the outside or with the right boot there, and that just drifted out wide for him.
Disappointing enough display here by Clashmore today. Only one scorer in the first half. Brian Lynch scoring all 3 points. Clashmore management won't be happy with that. They'll be hoping to get grips with it in the second half and see more fellas getting on the scoreboard as Jason Seward takes the kick out. Goes across towards James O'Leary.
David Montgomery though, batting it down to himself, and he's cutting through again. There's a line, there was about 5 Clashmore men there right across from him there, and he was trying to force it into David Lubier, and again Clashmore turn it over, and then they hand it straight back to Brian Lubier. Brian popping it out to Dean Beresford again. This man is a good man to find space and get away from players. Popping it to Brian Luby, who's after continuing his run up from centre back, just flicked away by Declan Allen. Both of them county players in their eras. Well, Brian is still a county player. Michael O'Halloran to Pudge. Pudge twisting and turning, looking to get on the scoreboard, pops it to Dean Beresford. Dean, can he take it on the right? It's a great score by him. Lovely score by Dean Beresford, and that's his opening score for the match.
Yeah, 10-point lead in it after 4 minutes of the second half. It's looking like it's going to be one-way traffic here. Ballinacourty management down under us don't look under any pressure whatsoever, the two Hurney brothers. Very relaxed, laughing and joking.
It's so crowded under the dropping ball, but it doesn't seem to be suiting Clashmore today. Ballinacourty seem to be picking up the breaks. And yet again, that's Brian Newby there. Oh, that's a heavy hit gone in there from Tyke
James
Burke.
O'Leary, I think, could be already, maybe it's only ticking he's on, hopefully, because the ref is going to his notebook. Maybe it was only a ticking he got in the first half, I'm not sure. That's all Clashmore need now.
No, I don't think he's going to be leaving the scene. It was a kind of a stiff arm tackle, and to be fair to Brian Newby, he's straight back up again. I don't think any referee is going to want to send a player off in a game that's kind of one-sided. That's John Elstead cutting through on the left hand, on his left leg to Pudge. Clashmore have their defence set though. They've got 13 bodies behind the ball. That's Michael Kiley popping it to David Newby, giving that ball to Pudge, and Pudge shooting with the right. But that's Pudge's third wide, and it's not like Pudge to be that erratic with his shooting, because normally he's pretty accurate. But yeah, lethargic is the word that springs to mind here now. It's just the intensity definitely seems to be gone out of the game. John Elstead winning a good ball there, pops it to Michael Kiley again. The hurling panellist, a lot of hurlers on display here. That's a good run being made by Conor Prunty. Back to Michael Kiley. Michael Kiley cutting through the centre. He's going to want to get on the scoreboard. Gives that ball out. And I think that's Conor Prunty again with his second score of the game. Yes, it is. And Conor is after getting a liking for this scoring business. 2 points in the first 6 minutes of the second half for him, and he's going to be happy with that.
Ballinacourty completely on top here in the third quarter. Wouldn't think the ball went into the Clashmore half much in the start of the second half. Kick out from Jason Seward, well broken down by Conor Prunty. Across to Michael Kiley onto
that's David Montgomery cutting.
Montgomery going through and goes for goal, but it's broken away by Kieran Burke. As Ferry runs across to pick it up, tracked over by James O'Leary. Ferry fists it into the 21 to Michael Halloran. Michael Halloran back to Ferry, and Ferry clips it over the bar, all too easy. And Clashmore in all sorts of bother here as Cillian O'Keefe goes down and he looks injured in the full back position. Johnny Flavin coming in to assist.
Ballinacourty are thinking about making a few switches as well. I think they've got Jim O'Mahony there warming up on the sideline, and James Beresford, and I think that could be Conor McCarthy as well is down there. So they're going to use their bench there now and try and get a bit of game time into fellas as well.
Yeah, Jason getting ready to take the kick out. But again, the breaking picked up by Ferry, and Ballinacourty completely on top out around the middle.
Oh, it's a great diagonal ball into Pudge there. Pudge popping it to Furry. How many years have these two boys been doing that? The old Pudge Furry 1-2, and that's a peach of a score there by Furry, and that's his 6th score of the game there by Mark Ferncombe, and when this man is on song, he's a joy to watch.
It was a great kick, yeah, but all too much time and space on the ball for him. Ballinacourty going to bring on subs here. They're going to give fellas an opportunity for the quarter final to stake a claim for their position.
Oh, Brian Luby does really well there, having a great battle with Brian Lynch in the middle of the field, but as Courty come away with it. It's a nice dummy there by Sean Whelan Barrett, and it's Ballinacourty there now being patient and recycling. John Elstead feeding that ball out there, and that looks like David Luby taking a shot there off the outside of the right boot, trying to cut across it there, Kieran MacDonald style, but that didn't quite work out for him that time, and that's his second wide of the game.
Ballinacourty bringing on a couple of subs here, Aaron Beresford who played in goals for Waterford last year. He's coming on. Quite sure who's going off. I think they're giving Pudge a rest maybe. Yeah, Pudge is coming off, they're giving him a rest, saving him for the quarter final. As Jason Seward prepares to take the kick out.
Michael O'Halloran chipping that ball in there. He was looking for Furry, and Furry twisting and turning in there. That's superb by him. But he blasted straight at the goalkeeper, which is Jason Seward, who started the game at centre back but stepped in between the posts there when the club chairman Declan Hickey got injured, and that was a good save by Jason Seward.
Clashmore getting ready to make a substitution here. Dean Russell coming on as David Luby prepares to take the 45.
17, shot took the 3. 17, another 3. 17 for 3.
Yeah, Dean Russell coming on and Killian O'Keefe coming off with an injury.
Substitution on the Clashmore team, number 3, Killian O'Keefe, is replaced by number 17, Dean Russell.
Oh, that's a great strike by David Luby. Super score by him. He's a great striker of a ball, always has been ever since he was a minor. He's been kicking 45s. That's worrying Alan to see Killian O'Keefe going off. He's one player that Clashmore don't want to lose when we get to the knockout stages.
No, playing very well this year at full back. Had a good campaign in the hurling as well, as Jason Seward finds Paul O'Connor as Clashmore try to bring it forward past the middle of the field for the first time in a long time. Paul O'Connor twisting and turning, lays it back to Sam Fitzgerald. Sam Fitzgerald using his strength, busting power. Becky Allen out here all alone, finds the sub Dean Russell. Dean puts it back to Paddy Pender. Paddy Pender going for a big kick up into the sky, but it's going to fall a long way short. As Jonathan Welsh comes across, but Stephen Enright.
It's Tom Luby.
To Tom Luby, and Ballinacourty come away with it with minimum fuss.
There's John Elstead out around the middle of the field, and he pops that there to Michael Kiley. Declan Allen had picked up such a good position there for Clashmore in that last attack, and nobody spotted him. He was all on his own in miles of space there, and now that's Michael Kiley winning a free back in the wing forward position there for Ballinacourty. But what a pity that someone didn't spot Declan Allen after making a run like that there. How he sneaked into so much space without being noticed.
Yeah, he'd made a good run off the ball there. He was in a bit of space, but this game seems to be kind of going well away from Clashmore at the moment, as Ballinacourty prepare to take another free, about 30 yards from the goal.
It's David Luby standing over it. But no, that one's after drifting out wide for David. 3 frees and 1 point in a 45, so he has 5 points on the board here today, has David. It's strange playing Paul O'Connor so far out the field, Alan.
Yeah, he's playing deep at a long time, but Clashmore just can't get a grip on it anywhere around the field.
They need to get him onto the ball. That's Aaron Beresford chipping a nice ball in there. That's Furry. But he's dropping that into Jason Seward, and it's Clashmore boys coming away with the ball. Super ball out there to Brian Lynch. This man looks a good player, but he's just being starved of ball in this game. When he did get ball earlier on, he was playing well. Pops it to Declan Allen. Great 1-2 there with Declan Allen. Small bit of tangling going on there between Brian Luby and Brian Lynch off the ball, and Brian Lynch taking what you'd call a wild swipe of that Tom Luby, and that ball was just knocked out of there by Dean Russell. It's a line ball for Ballinacourty.
Yeah, Clashmore getting another sub ready here in front of me.
Ty coming in. Tom Luby going back to Stinners there in goals. One of those kicks that wrecks the head of the traditionalist to be kicking the ball back to your own goalkeeper. That's Michael Curley advancing up the right. Oh, great run being made inside there. Absolutely super. That was Aaron Beresford, pacey player, giving it back out to Michael O'Halloran, Tom Luby, or David Luby. David, they can be patient. Ballinacourty, they're showing their experience here. Great position being taken up on the left here by Tom Luby, but Michael O'Halloran chose not to go to him, gives it to Furry instead. Furry sticking out a boot, and that was hacked on the fly there. I'd say it was Aaron Beresford.
Clashmore getting ready to bring on us up here. It looks like Tig Cunningham coming on to make his first championship start in senior championship action in senior football. I'm not quite sure who's coming off. I think it's Paul O'Connor's coming off, yeah. Paul with a bit of a shoulder injury there the past few weeks. So being taken off and waiting for the quarter final if Clashmore can find an on button.
Oh, beautiful jumping by Edmund.
Edmund Halloran did well there, bringing the ball forward. Brian Luby's across the intercept as well. And the quarter completely on top in all sectors of the field here.
That's Tom Luby there, just getting caught between two minds there, and then he forced to hop the ball and hands it straight over there to Luke Coughlin. And Luke Coughlin is putting the sub that came on there, Tig Cunningham, into space, but doesn't quite reach it, and Ballinacourty turn it over again. Oh, they're gone long here. They're looking for Dean Beresford inside, or Aaron Beresford, but again, well cut out there. It's all gone a bit untangled and kind of both sides making unforced errors here and kicking ball away.
No bit of fire to it at all. As Paddy Pender brings it across here to Dean Russell. Dean Russell back to Paddy Pender. On his own 65 into the middle to Tig Burke. On the ball, bringing it forward. Hopping and a solo goes around. Paddy Kiley back to Tig Cunningham, back to Paddy Pender, back to Ian Trehy. All in the one spot around the middle of the field. Aidan Trehy makes a burst forward and makes the breakthrough on his own 45. Past 2 or 3 players. Here he has a little bit of space under 21 and kicks. First score in the second half and the first score in a long time for Clashmore. James O'Leary, the captain there, after a good burst by Aidan Trehy.
Yeah, he made a great run forward there just on the water break. Paul O'Connor is after being substituted there. His mother, Gemma, just retired this year from a great career of teaching over in Kilmacthomas, and shout out to Gemma if she's listening out there. So the water break on 47 minutes here, but 17 points to 4, 13 points, and you just feel that the last quarter of this game is going to be played out at a fairly pedestrian pace.
Yeah.
Who has been excellent for Ballinacourty in the middle of the field today is Conor Prunty, and the whole team really. There has been no contest or uncontested kickouts there. They've really been sharp onto the kickouts, and they've been getting a fist or a hand to every single ball, and they've been sharp enough on the breaks there. And you'd wonder, last county final, Conor Prunty played in the backs, and maybe midfield is a better position for him. He's been excellent there today.
Yeah, and in fairness, the wing forwards and half backs for Ballinacourty are way faster onto the breaks, and that's what's controlling the game.
Full-time score from the Rathgormack Kilrassenty game, Rathgormack 316, Kilrassenty 6 points.
Well, as you might have heard in the background there, Rathgormack winning by a big scoreline, so just clear enough as we can see today that it'll be very hard to knock Ballinacourty, Rathgormack or Denier off the Conway Cup this year. Ring might have something small to say on it as well.
There's a few people talking about Galtier as well, that they're putting in a better effort this year, and Barry Coughlin is back in centre back position for them there, making I think his footballing debut this year, I've heard, but that's a 19-point win for Rathgormack today, and that's definitely going to be concerning for the rest of the county.
Yeah, Galtier with Ballygunner, no club championship this year, so it will be a big hit
So
to
the substitution,
Galtier.
Ballinacourty team number 22, Sean Whelan Barrett, is replaced by number 5, James O'Mahony, and number 13, Neil Montgomery, is replaced by number 9, James Beresford.
I was very impressed with Neil Montgomery here today. He's had a superb game for Ballinacourty. He's been so involved back defending and carrying ball and everything. He's a superb athlete.
Yeah, and he's kicked a few scores as well.
That's Darren McGrath there. Great run being made up by Tom Newby on the left here, but he chooses to go to Michael Kiley on the right. Michael Kiley and Trehy. There's serious gears there in both of those lads. Trehy was able to match him for pace, but Michael Kiley had that step ahead, and Trehy trying to give him a shove on the back there in the finish, but Michael Kiley gets his opening score of the game, and he's going to be happy to get on the scoreboard as well. Edmund O'Halloran looking for the short one, but Jason Seward goes long there, and again it's James Beresford twisting and turning there. James is a seasoned player, but it's a super ball over the top.
Into Luke Coughlin. Luke Coughlin coming across and finds Ty Cunningham. Ty Cunningham goes back to Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch going for a big one from 45 yards out. A good looking kick which has gone to the right and wide. No, there's been overruled and they've given the point. Paddy Smith. Paddy Allen in there, an umpire. But I'm not too sure. Yeah, he's given the point anyway. Paddy Smith is writing it into the notebook.
Well taken by Aaron Beresford to Brian Newby there, and loads of space. Great run being made there by David Newby, but Brian instead gives it to James Beresford, and James just putting too much onto that. Furry was running into space, but James just overhit that pass. Super run being made there by David Luby inside there, and he'll be having a word with Brian at the dinner table this evening, telling him to look up and take an old scan across to the corner as well. Conor McCarthy just coming down off the bench there. He might be coming in there next. Great catch by James Leary in the middle field. Goes long there with Darren McGrath contesting that, and David Luby showing great athleticism there. Beautiful touch stuff from David Montgomery to give that ball out to him. Jimmo off, looking to find David Luby there, but ball just beating the both of them, and it's Dean Russell. But David Luby wins that ball. Jimmo. Michael O'Halloran looking up now with the fist pass. Back to David Luby. David taking a shot from distance, but that's great adventurous play there by Jason Seward. I suppose one of the advantages of having an outfield player going into goals is he's going to be confident on the ball.
Yeah, Jason won that one well. The ball is across to Dean Russell back on his own 45 in the far side of the field. Takes a bounce and solo gives it back into Ty Cunningham. Ty Cunningham finds Paddy Pender. All just a bit slow here for Clashmore going across their own 45. Nothing much happening, no one looking for the ball. Paddy's still on the ball, hopping and soloing on his own 45. Looks up and gives it on to Decky Allen, I think. Sorry, Sam Fitzgerald, I mean. Goes back and finds James O'Leary. James O'Leary tries to bring the ball forward. Captain for Clashmore, and he passes his own 65. Back to Paddy Pender. Edmund Halloran makes the bus forward. Across his own 65, probably being fouled, and Paddy Smith gives the free. Edmund finds Ty in the middle of the field. Ty gives a long swirling kick in towards Sam Fitzgerald. That goes on past him to Luke Coughlin. Luke Coughlin wins the ball, might have been pushed but wasn't. Luke making a bit of space. Edmund runs forward, gets the ball. Edmund kicks it, but was half unbalanced and comes off the side of his foot, and Brian Luby takes it away for Abbeyside.
It's James Beresford. James Beresford looking for David Luby. David's been very, very impressive out in front of his men here. He's looking for Beresford, and he goes long. Great pace being shown here. Only Tom Luby on the left hand side though, and there it's Brian Luby now making a great run in the centre. That's James Beresford. Will he see Brian Luby? But it's James Beresford, and not a man renowned for his scoring prowess.
Number 7, Tom Luby, is replaced by number 4, Conor McCarthy.
James Beresford, a man that's known for his commitment and his work rate, and it's good to see James getting his name on the board. Tom Luby, after coming off here, so Conor McCarthy's gone on for him. Great player, Conor McCarthy, really speedy, pacey player, tight marker. That's Aaron Beresford, but that ball just dropping. Not sure why the goalie blew or why the referee blew the whistle there.
Paddy Smith calling back play. I think there was a free to Ballinacourty. Sam Fitzgerald gave
Aaron Beresford
something off the ball, maybe took and dragged back to a player who was going through, and he picks up a yellow card in doing so. It's going to be a simple free in here for David Luby. 25 yards out.
You'd hope they hold their discipline now, because you don't want to see anyone picking up a stupid card when the result is a foregone conclusion.
Bad miss there by David Luby. He'd be disappointed with that. Yeah, it doesn't look like there'll be anything too erratic happening in the next few minutes. Things are very pedestrian.
David Luby picks up a nice ball there to Aaron Beresford. Trehe's on him though, and he's not going to get away from Trehe too easily. Oh, that's superb defence by Messi inside there. That's absolutely fantastic work by him.
Edmund Halloran Sean went for the ball there. Tried to wait till the end, bring it out. To his own 45, but very frustrated. Edmund Halloran, as the ref gives a free away for a push out, kicks the ball in frustration and it hits the barrier and comes up into the stand. As Ballinacourty bring the ball forward, the ref Paddy Smith deciding to bring it 10 metres forward after Edmund kicking the ball away. A frustrated Edmund O'Halloran.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call there when the player on the ball gives the hand off. Like, you know, it's a tough call, but in this case he decided there was a free. Really, when the team is down so much, you'd think he'd give the advantage to the team that's behind.
As David Luby makes no mistake and slaps that one over the bar as Ballinacourty prepared to bring that
Substitution on the Ballinacourty team, number 12, Michael O'Halloran, is replaced by number 21, Mark Toomey.
That's David Luby's 6th point of the game.
Ballinacourty using all their subs here today. As Jason Seward takes a fast kick out to Ty Cunningham, which has gone all wrong. And Beresford
gives it to David
Luby, who takes a big kick, who looks good, and it's going over the bar, and a 21-4 lead here for Ballinacourty as the clock ticks 57.5 minutes. Clashmore, I'd say, will be looking forward to the full-time whistle as soon as possible.
Prunty one-handed, that's fantastic by Prunty. What skill, and almost picked up Michael O'Halloran. Yeah, he was inches away from being the perfect ball, but it's Paddy Prendergast coming out of the defence instead.
A super catch here in the middle of the field by Prunty, one-handed style. As Paddy tries to take the ball forward, Paddy trying to away hard, but the ball is broken away to him. And again, it's Conor Prunty who gives the ball into David Luby. David Luby with a good bit of space here as Aidan Tree comes across to try and steady him up. But he jinks inside and out. The ref putting up the arm to give the advantage as Paddy Kiley takes the kick, and it goes to the left and wide. And is the ref going to bring it back? No, I don't think Paddy Smith is. He decided the time was gone. Clashmore will be disappointed enough today with the performances of too many players throughout the pitch not playing well, beaten in too many areas.
It's Dean Beresford, it's Brian Luby, James Beresford. James looking up, but there's nobody inside and nobody to give it to at all. So he's going to have to be patient, and he is. That's James O'Mahony. His father's a Castle Island man. And Jimmo goes for goal there, and it's a yes, he does. That goal being greeted by loud cheers from the bench here, because again, it's you would have got good odds from the bookies on Jimmo to get a goal, and James and Conor Prunty all to be on the scoreboard today.
All the Abbeyside sub-service side is laughing and joking there as Jimmo gets 2 attempts to put the ball in the net, and Ballinacourty will be very happy with today's performance, running into a big lead now against Clashmore with a quarter final into next weekend.
Another good save by Jason Seward though.
Jason has done well since he went into goals.
Really, I think the best player on display here today has been Conor Prunty though in the middle of the field. He's after a massive game.
In the middle of the field, has bit tied up there reasonably well.
It's David Luby. That's Mark Toomey there, but Ballinacourty are kind of throwing the ball around at their ease here now. Mark looking to work a bit of magic like his dad. Giving it back out to Dave Luby. James O'Mahony there, and again there now Clashmore boys are all just standing inside the 45 and they're saying come on out, or they're refusing to come out. They're saying come on in if you want. Conor McCarthy, and that is superb, absolutely beautiful score there by Darren McGrath with the left leg. And there's a lot of unusual names on the scoreboard here for Ballinacourty today.
Over a 20-point win here for Ballinacourty today, it looks like, without ever really getting out of third gear. They'll march on to the quarter final and they'll have big thoughts of winning the Conway Cup after today's performance.
I think there's at least 11 players, different players on the scoreboard for Ballinacourty, and they're going to be happy with that. That's Brian Luby thumping that ball in there. Michael Kiley cutting through inside. It's opening up for him. They're going for goals here now. Forey wants one. Oh, using his soccer skills, but well cleared away there.
There will be
Sam
at least 1
Fitzgerald.
minute additional time at the end of this half. At least 1 minute of additional time.
Oh, he does great run there by Sam Fitzgerald and drawing the foul. Yellow card being given there to James Beresford, I think, and he's bringing the ball forward as well. Prendergast with the ball here, and he's bringing it forward again, and that is just silly by Ballinacourty, but it's brought right in from the 65 to the 21 here now, so that's a gimme.
Consolation score here for Brian Mills. Clashmore management will have a bit to do this week to prepare for the quarter final next weekend. They'll be playing one of the stronger teams in it after being well beaten today. We'll have a few players back for next week. Brian O'Halloran, Shane Russell, Cian Connery. An awful lot to do to be able to turn things around just within a week.
The draw is going to be huge here to try and avoid Rathcormac and the Noir that are in 2 separate groups. There's no one going to be looking forward to being drawn against either of them. Darren McGrath cutting forward up the field. Top class hurler and footballer, but he's well turned over there by Tadhg de Burka. Great man, and that's Prendergast. But again, that ball is spilt there, and it's Prunty picking it up. Mark Toomey, James Beresford. James looking up inside. Oh, there's good tangling going off the ball here between Beresford and number 17. But it's Conor McCarthy getting it back again. Is Conor going to have a go? No. Popping it into Beresford. Oh, beautiful dummy. Oh my God. With the goal at his mercy then. I think he was thinking about going for the top corner there, but Dean Beresford just blasted it over the bar with his left leg. I think that's his second point of the game, but he's had a super over there now. He's started and he's got on a lot of ball, and he's made a very good case for retaining his position in the starting 15. Definitely giving the selectors a few headaches.
Aidan Tree gets his hands on the ball in the closing minutes here on Fairfield, gives it to Dickie Helen, passes midfield, passes C65, gives a left-legged kick inside, but it's going to go to Stephen Enright with plenty of time in his hands. And he finds
Conor
McCarthy.
Oh!
Darren McGrath takes it up here.
It's Aaron Beresford giving it across there to David Montgomery, who's well a long ways away from goal there, and he's had a very good hour there for a long spell of the second half there. He was playing as the full back inside with one player on him, and they were isolated inside, and he'll be glad that there was no ball kicked into him. So it's James O'Mahony to James Beresford. James popping that ball to Dean Beresford. Back out to Michael Kiley. He's going to have another go, is it? Yes, he does. And that's the final act of this game. But it was a disappointing game for the neutrals there that are watching this, really, because Clashmore never really came out of the blocks at all.
After the first 5 minutes, Clashmore never raised the gallop. And as I said there a few minutes ago, they have an awful lot of work to do to face into a quarter-final, which will be more than likely against either Rathgarnock, Denoyer or Ring next weekend. So piles of work to be done for the week if they're to raise any gallop in the quarter-final. Meanwhile, Ballinacourty march on, and they'll probably have a handy enough quarter-final, and they'll be thinking more of a semi-final against Rathgarnock and Denoyer. They'll be looking forward to. They look firmly set to be in the top 3 this year anyway.
The only thing is, knockout football is a different beast, and some players just need to have the stakes of knockout in front of them before they really commit to it. Like that.
Yeah, but they brought on all the subs today, and they look lively. Where Clashmore hadn't an awful lot to bring on today, and hopefully they'll have a few of the injured players back next week. But again, if they're to take on any of the big 3. They'll have a lot of work to do within a week.
Yeah. So we'd just like to say over and out from Fairfield, and thanks to everyone that's